please introduce yourself?
Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. My name is Gina Kim, and I am a prosecutor at the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office. I work at the Family Violence Unit, and most of my work there involves handling criminal domestic violence cases.
What is the domestic violence?
Well, domestic violence is a term that has been around for a long time. We have also adopted the term intimate partner violence. This involves violence between two people who are dating or married, and intimate violence can be in a straight or a gay relationship. The victim can be a man or a woman.
How common is domestic violence in our country?
Well, I will first note that the majority of domestic violence is not reported to the police at all, but it is more common than people would think. Statistics show about 1 in 3 women have experienced physical violence in a domestic relationship, and about 1 in 4 men have experienced physical violence in a domestic relationship. Also, for women who have been murdered, unfortunately, statistics show about 1 in 3 of these murders are domestic violence related killings.
What happens when a victim of domestic violence reports a crime?
Well, that's a good question. When a victim calls 911 or goes to the police station to make a report, then a report is taken and evidence is then collected. Then the report comes to a prosecution office for review, such as the one that I work at. The prosecutor will review the report and the evidence to decide whether criminal charges will be filed.
What are the difficulties of prosecuting domestic violence?
Well, there are quite a few difficulties. A lot of victims of domestic violence do not even report the crime to the police. But even after the victim reports the crime, one of the common difficulties is that a victim changes her mind and does not want to cooperate with the police anymore. This can be especially true in certain communities like the Korean community. Many people may think that domestic violence is a family matter, not a criminal matter. And quite often, a victim may feel a stigma as a domestic violence victim. However, the good news is, in Los Angeles, much changed after the O.J. Simpson murder trial in 1995. The public became more aware that any person, whether rich or poor, educated or uneducated, famous or not, can become a victim of domestic violence, and that you can seek help instead of keeping it a secret.
What type of protection can a victim of domestic violence receive?
Well, that's a very important question. The victim may be connected to services such as domestic violence shelters and counseling centers. Also, the victim may be able to get financial help to move to a safer location. I'd like to talk a little bit about restraining orders. Whether criminal charges are filed or not, a victim can still seek a civil restraining order. A restraining order will require the batterer to stay away from the victim. It is free for the victim to apply for one by herself in civil court, and there are community services that help a victim through this application process. If criminal charges are filed, a criminal protective order is automatically part of the sentence. A big difference between Korea and the United States is this. In the US, if the batterer violates a restraining order, then the batterer can be charged criminally. In Korea, so far, I believe that only fines can be imposed for violating an order. But I do know that the prosecutors in Korea have been carefully studying this issue to determine whether to also impose criminal charges as well.
What is the range of sentence for a crime of domestic violence?
Well, it's a wide range. At a minimum, there is usually probation, a mandatory 1-year domestic violence counseling, and a restraining order. The batterer is banned from owning firearms. The batterer may or may not do jail or prison time. If it's quite serious, such as murder, then of course the batterer may get life in prison or the death penalty in California.
Do you have any last words for our viewers?
Well, yes, the last word I would like to say is if you are a victim of domestic violence, there are things you can do to help yourself. For example, I myself have referred victims to the Korean American Family Services to seek guidance and counseling. Find out how to keep you and your children and families safe. Trying to leave an abusive relationship is difficult. Please reach out to police, domestic violence hotlines, and counseling centers to educate yourself. And thank you for listening. So please subscribe and like us on YouTube. Thank you.